Chris Sully. Welcome to the news at 5, 6, 7 and 8 o'clock, where you don't miss a thing. Tonight's stories include shonky builders, rip-offs at the checkout, and of course, disruptive neighbour stories. But tonight's first story is about Kenneth Egan on Channel 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 News, where you don't miss a thing. Now we'll hear from Ken's long-time friend, Ron Streeter of Caringbah.
Tell you what, when I first met Ken was at Technical College in the old jail at Darlinghurst. We used to work in the western suburbs and we had a bit of time to fill in between work and tech, and we used to go to the pub, but not Ken. He was very studious and a good student. We actually thought he was a bit of an egghead. But he was seen one time playing football, playing on the wing in a pair of gloves, and somebody said, "What's he playing in gloves for?" Somebody said, "Oh, his little fingers get cold."
His mother would have got those for him.
Oh yeah, his mum got them for him because she used to spoil him no end, being an only child. So about that time, he met this little slip of a girl. I think her name was Margaret Crane. He said he described her to me as a good sort. He said, "Ron, she's a real good sort." And I think he was right about that. She was a good sort, and I think she still is. He made a big decision that changed his life then. He moved out of the eastern suburbs and moved to the Shire. He moved into Gymea Bay Road. It was a pretty happy home. He had a couple of daughters there.
Oh, they were nice. They're very nice, yeah. I believe.
They turned out all right, I suppose. Karen and Chrissy. I suppose it was what you'd call a bit of a party house. We used to have a lot of fun there.
I remember.
A lot of barbecues, steaks and long necks. Yes. I think one of the features of the barbecues was Ken's temporary toilet.
The throne room.
The throne room, that was the name. But it had a flushing system and a proper pan, the whole works. Because in those days in the Shire, flushing toilets were the big thing. But the ladies wouldn't use it. They thought the first gust of wind would blow it over. To use your own words, Ken, there's no friends like old friends, and there's plenty of them here tonight.
Thanks.
Happy birthday, Ken.
Now we'll hear from Maureen Streeter, another long-time friend of Ken's.
Well, I've only known him 57 years, not like everyone else, and I first met him at a dance. And I was on my first date in Sydney with Ron, and he was always a very snappy dancer. I can remember that part. And then over the years he and Margaret have just been so great. We feel most fortunate to have met both of them. I hope you have a very, very happy birthday. You certainly deserve it.
Come fly with me, let's fly away. If you can use some exotic booze, there's a bar in far Bombay. Come fly with me, let's fly away. Come fly with me, let's float down to Peru. In Lama Land there's a one-man band, and he'll toot his flute for you. Come fly with me, let's take off in the blue. Once I get you up there where the air is rarefied, we'll just glide starry-eyed. Once I get you up there, I'll be holding you so near. You may hear the angels cheer because we're together.
Lizzie Sargent now reflects on her years in the Egan household.
You probably all don't know, but a lot of you know I grew up in the Egan household. I was very, very fortunate to meet Chrissy when I was in year 1, and Chrissy and I used to walk home every day, and I always used to go to the Egan's house in the afternoons, and Friday afternoons was a specialty because we used to go to swim club, and then I'd get to stay with Auntie Marg and Uncle Ken and have fish and chips and chocolate paddle pops, and I used to sleep over, and I loved it. And I was very welcomed into their home, and I was their third daughter. Well, I thought I was anyway, and I was very happy to be. So I remember lots of things about Uncle. I remember the pool, when the pool was being built, the greatest pool ever in Uncle Ken's backyard, the biggest pool ever. And we spent many, many happy hours, Chrissy and I, and our friends in that pool. It was always there for me, I know that, and Chrissy and Karen, and I'm going to cry, you're going to make me cry, Chrissy.
Oh, here we go.
And of course, he gave me away. Oh, you have to turn it off now because... No, don't turn it off, really. Chrissy, I hope you can edit this because now I'm going to... I was talking about when Uncle Ken gave me away. It was a very special day for me because my father obviously wasn't around to give me away, and I had Uncle Ken to lean on and rely on. So I'm going to cry again. Why am I crying? Sorry, Uncle Ken. So yes, it was... he was like my second dad. He's always been there for me, and always makes me laugh. He hasn't changed over the years, always stayed the same, and that's pretty special, I reckon. Yes, Uncle Ken, I hope you have a wonderful birthday, and you know I love you, and happy 80th birthday.
Forever could never be long enough for me to feel like I've had long enough with you. Forget the world now, we won't let them see. But there's one thing left to do. Now that the weight has lifted, love has surely shifted my way. Marry me today and every day. Marry me if I ever get the nerve to say hello in this cafe.
Well, I first met Ken at Tech. We were both doing plumbing. Ken was 2 years older than me, but we were in the same class because Ken always repeated classes. That's how dumb he was.
What did go on in the public service?
Oh, we were always playing practical days in those days. I mean, that's all there was. It's all you did in the public works. And he still did it till the day he left. Yeah, that's why his father put him in the public works, because he said to his wife, Ken's mother, we can't do much with him, we'll put him in the public works. These days it's Friday afternoon, I'm with Bruce Williams, and we still see each other. Keep well, that's out of your control, and I hope life is good for you from now on.
Hi Ken, have a happy birthday, and we've had a lot of happy days together, and I hope we have a lot more happy days together and a lot more happy birthdays with you. Okay, bye. Bye Ken. Is that right?
I've known you for lots of years, and one of the things I've always told people about you, that your driving skills are beyond reproach. You know, just because you put your trafficators on one blink and pull out in front of everybody and they nearly have an accident, I've seen you do this a number of times, and you want to know what's wrong with the silly so-and-sos. You know, you have put your blinker on, you know, but you're supposed to pull out in safety. You do have strong opinions about anything, but what I like about you is you don't argue much. You know, you just accept anyone else's opinion on things, and you don't get involved in arguments until you've been drinking that red wine, and I think that sends you mad. Okay, all the best for your birthday, and I'll see you during that occasion, I hope.
Do you remember when we first met? I sure do. It was sometime in early September. Well, you were lazy about it, you made me wait around. I was so crazy about you, I didn't mind. So I was late for class, I locked my back to yours. It wasn't hard to find. You painted flowers on it. Guess that I was afraid that if you rolled away, you might not roll back my direction real soon. Well, I was crazy about you then and now, but the craziest thing of all, over 10 years have gone by, and you're still mine, locked in time.
Do you remember when you first met Ken?
Yes, I do. It was my 16th birthday, and I had a party at home, and he had just come back from working down at the Snowy River.
What kind of things did you do with Ken, Joan?
Oh, we did a lot with your dad, because he was one of the wealthy ones who owned a car. And he used to give Noreen, Carmel and I a lift to the dance at Bronte Surf Club.
Does Ken make you laugh?
Many things make me laugh. He still makes me laugh. He has a crazy sense of humour.
An example, please, Joan?
We'd walk home from Bronte, and then he'd make Noreen and I walk back to the car with him, and then he would make sure we got home. But he also insisted that if we were given lifts by him, we had help clean his car. So on Saturdays, there we were with rags and buckets cleaning his car.
When the kids were all young, did you meet up with Ken a lot, and what kind of things did you do?
We used to have a lot of gatherings. We'd go on picnics and visit each other's homes with our families. All the kids would play together.
And lastly, any parting words for Ken?
Well, I just always wish him the best. And I think he's still a boy at heart.
We've known Ken for over 40 years, and I just think he's the greatest guy I've ever known, and we get on. We get on. He is really. I just think he's so funny, and we get on so well. We have since we've been working the public service now with public works. Well, I work. Ken used to just come along, but we've got on so well over these years, and I just think he's I just get on so well with him.
I think you're going to cry.
Phil, are you about to cry?
No, I'm not going to cry. I just love him. I think he's a great guy.
We don't have a lot of good friends that we love because we're very particular.
Particular or maybe just not popular?
But Ken and Marg, particularly Marg more than Ken. Don't only Ken. We love them. They're like family to us, and we just think the world of them.
And all the best, Ken, for your 80th. And all the best.
Love you.
Love you so much. Bye.
Oh, that's...
Thanks for the memory of candlelight and wine, castles on the Rhine, the Parthenon and moments on the Hudson River line. How lovely it was. Thanks for reminding me of rainy afternoons, swinging Harlem tunes, and motor trips, and burning lips, and burning toast and prunes. How lovely it was. Many's the time that we feasted, and many's the time that we
Unfortunately, Chris Sully has taken medical leave, so myself, Lucinda Sully, will be taking over for the rest of the news bulletin. When I was in kindergarten, all the way through till probably about year 12, I would often go into the laundry to put my shoes on, and I'd go put my school shoes on just a bit like this. I'd put my left school shoe on, and that would go on fine. I'd put my other shoe on. Could never get my foot in, so I'd lift out my shoe, stick my finger in it, and I'd find out that I would have...
No, well, did you know
how... I didn't know, but someone put it in my shoe.
And what would happen? Would you just...
Then I'd get really frustrated and annoyed because I didn't know who did it. And many conspiracy theories led me to believe that it was our neighbour Shane. But no one ever told me. And then Lauren blabbered one day in the car thinking that I already knew, and I didn't. And that's how I found out.
So Luke, it would seem that you're a bit of an easy mark for your grandfather. Is there any parting words you've got to say to him?
Well, I can't remember, I think it was his 70th birthday, when he was blowing the candles out, he said that he wasn't going to make his 80th, but he made his 80th, and happy birthday, and hope you see many more 5 o'clock newses and 6 o'clock newses to come. Now we will hear from Ken's granddaughters, Lauren, Katie and Annie.
I'm his little mouse. And when I was little, he used to come up to me and he used to say, "You're my mouse." And I say, "I'm not a mouse! I'm not a mouse!" That's probably, I remember terrorising me with that. And the Annie-itis story about me pretending to be sick all the time. And I was generally sick and all those times she said I wasn't, I was.
Well, I remember at Como when we used to make projects in his workshop. If we weren't making projects in our workshop, we're doing sewing with Myanmar, but when we used to go for walks to the marina, and Susie would be following behind and he'd buy me bubbly bills.
Yeah, I remember back when I was probably 3, one of my earliest memories is making homemade recordings with at Mama's kitchen table, and I would take all the saucepans out of Mama's cupboards and read a book, and when it was time to turn the page, get me to tap the saucepan, and in the background of all the recordings you can hear Mama washing up in the kitchen. And I also remember when I was much older, it was actually a little bit embarrassing in the end. I was well into high school. I had to meet at Oatley at the bridge, and I had to double with on the bike all the way to Como, which as a high school student was a little embarrassing.
But you did it for
I did it for
I also remember breakfast in bed with I remember we used to read the paper together, and Memma, we'd stay in bed and Memma would be in the kitchen making us breakfast. Okay, hope you have a fantastic day, and I love you, and happy 80th birthday. Happy 80th birthday, can't believe you made it this far.
It's those apple and oranges.
That's another thing.
An apple and an orange keeps the doctor away, isn't that right?
Yeah. And his brown bread. Brown bread, 2 sandwiches.
Baker's Delight.
Yeah.
And what time is lunch?
12 o'clock.
The hot plate. We can't get the hot plate.
You cannot have hot food with a cold plate.
Happy 80th, it may seem like Memma is my favourite, but let me tell you something, you're my equal favourite.
Oh, very nice.
Here I am, Ken, at the offices of Lister Mason, where for the last 10 years or so you have been both senior partner and cleaner.
Hello? What's happened? There's a news flash. Now we would like to show you footage of news as it unfolds.
I believe though, Ken, it is about time that you retire as senior partner of Lister Mason. I believe it has been distracting you from your more important cleaning duties. Of late there have been a number of incidents, flooding the office, leaving air conditioners on, and some security breaches. The partnership agreement that you signed has a mandatory retirement clause at the age of 80, which you didn't notice, and as you weren't actually an equity partner, there will be no payout, unlike what you received from the public service many years ago. On behalf of the staff and management of Lister Mason, Ken, we would like to wish you all the best in your future endeavours, but please make sure you turn up next Saturday to get back to your normal cleaning duties. Happy birthday, Ken.
Stop! Just stop!
Feel like this is the beginning. Though I've loved you for a million years, and if I thought our love was ending, I'd find myself drowning in my own tears. Whoa, you are the sunshine of my life, yeah. That's why I'll always stay around, yeah, yeah. You are the apple of my eye. Forever you stay in my heart. You must have known that I was lonely.
Thank you for watching the special on Kenneth Egan tonight. From myself, Lucinda Sully, and my counterpart, Chris Sully, that is it for tonight. We'll see you next time at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock.
something and I'm going to start reeling off.
You are?
Oh.
How long have I known him for? 40 years? No. Yeah, 40, 42.
But tonight's first story is about...
No, you meant to.
What?
You meant to go, but our first story is about...
Oh, I'll just do that again.
What were you saying about, like, your famous words about him never having been a sleaze? Do you think you could say that on camera?
He never was a sleaze, no.
Well,
1, 2, 3.
I believe, though, Ken, it is about time that you retire as senior partner of Lister Mason. I believe...
From myself?
Were they buffaloes or buffalo?
Buffaloes.
Buffalo.
Buffalo Bills.
Did he make you give him the change?
I don't remember. Probably didn't give me the money.
Probably not.
Probably.
Okay, you're on Phil, behave yourself.
This is our new baby. We've just had a baby. We haven't told Ken about it.
You have not.
We've called him Ken.
Chris?
This is Ken Jr. Jet Black Jr.
No, not yet. How about the fact he's done this?
Anyway, I'd like to wish Ken all the best for his 80th.
Hang on, before you do
Oh,
that,
sorry.
Phil.
Oh, you just ruined it.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were ready.
Can we start it again? Yeah, Mum,
Just don't worry, I'll cut it out.
I just want to say a couple of words about Auntie Ma, because I love Auntie Ma, because she's so
what
beautiful.
about her?
And I don't think that, I think I'm probably one of her favourites, Katie, so look out.